And let's start with, just for kicks, what are the square roots of 16? 4 and negative 4. Very good. And you can say that by saying plus or minus 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, and negative 4 times negative 4 is 16, isn't it? So you get two answers. So now that's what they're asking about when they go down to number 1, and they say find all the real square roots of 400. What are the square roots of 400? 20 and negative 20. And do all of you know how to use your calculator to get a square root if you have to? Speak freely if you do not. Actually, be patient. I got to get mine started back up here again, hopefully. What about the square root of negative 196? What can you multiply together by itself to get negative 196? Nothing. Ain't nothing you can do there, is there? So there is no answer. Which is a little bit of a lie, because we do imaginary numbers. That's a box plot. We'll do those some other time. You can just clear. Clear, and it should go back to your home screen. So just so you understand, there are imaginary answers to this, and we will be doing imaginary numbers. They're a lot of fun, just like your imaginary friends. It's going to be a great time. But we're not going to do that now. How about the square roots of 10,000? $100 and negative 100. Two different answers, aren't they? Because negative 100 times negative 100 is positive 10,000. So that has two answers. Okay, that's fun. We did cubed roots before, so you should be able to use your calculator if you need to. Maybe you even know the cubed root of 216. Is it 6? Are there two of them? Do I say 6 or negative 6? No, just 6. Because if it was negative, and you did it 3 times, a negative times a negative times a negative would be negative, and that would not work. Is there a cubed root of negative 343? Negative 7. So there's a real answer to that one. But not if it's a square root. And then the cubed root of 0.064. Did you know that? Or did you use your calculator? I thought maybe you might know it, because you knew 64, right? Yesterday was 4. So it's just a decimal point thing, but it's okay. Okay, how about the fourth root of negative 81? How do you do fourth root?
Yeah.
It's on the calculator under math. You can do any root you want with the fifth choice, but the trick is you have to hit the root first. So I got to hit 4 first, then go to math, go to choice 5, and put in negative 81. And the calculator says, don't be silly, that's not possible. No answer. Yeah, no, we're not, just the squares for this year. Because you can't multiply a number by itself 4 times and make it negative, can you? Because a negative times a negative is positive, times a negative is negative, times a negative is positive, every time you get to an even one. Did you get the fourth root of 256? Is it positive and negative 4? Because if it's an even number for a root, like a fourth root, that can work. Because a negative times a negative is positive, times a negative is negative, times a negative is positive. Every time you get to an even one, negative numbers work, okay? So yeah, there's two answers here, positive or negative 4. And then how about a fourth root of 0.0001? Positive or negative 0.1. Okay, so just to recap what Tristan and I were talking about here. If it's even roots, you can have two answers or maybe no answer. If it's odd, you will always get an answer, whether it's positive or negative. And hopefully it makes sense to you why. Okay, so now let's go back to the beginning where we talked about radical 16 and we said there were two answers there, positive or negative 4. What we do is we specify by showing the radical. If you see this, they want one answer, which is 4. If you see this, they want one answer, which is negative 4. And if you see this, that's when they want both answers. Okay, so the sign in front of the radical will tell you what they're looking for. You're not always going to give two answers. Hopefully I'll make it clear by the end of the day when you want those two answers.
No negative sign, would it be okay to put plus minus 4 just in case?
Not if they have the radical like that.
Okay.
That means they're looking for the positive answer.
Okay.
So there's a little bit difference in the way these questions are asked. Like here it says find the real roots. They want both answers.
Okay.
When we get down here and they just have the radical, that's 12. Not both answers.
And then like the negative 25 would be negative 5.
Negative 5. You got it.
Okay.
And then what about question number 12?
That's
impossible. Very good. No answer for number 12. And I hope you can look at 11 and 12 and see the difference, whether the negative is on the outside or on the inside, and the difference that it makes. Okay, 13 is a little bit different. We'll get more into this later in the year, but we'll play with this one now because the more often you see what I'm about to do, the better it'll stick, I hope. The fourth root of 81. If I take my calculator and I do the fourth root of 81, oh, third root, yeah, sorry about that, thank you. Third root of 81. It doesn't work out evenly. So that's a case where we're going to simplify this baby. And we're going to say 81 is 9 times 9. 9 is 3 times 3. And so when I break this down, it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times x times x times x times x. And this is the only one like this today. What is 3 times 3 times 3? What's the cubed root of 27? 3. So if I see a group of 3, that actually comes on the outside as a real number, because the cubed root of 3 times 3 times 3 is 3. And the cubed root of x times x times x is x. So groups of 3 would come out, and whatever's left under the radical will stay under the radical. And that's how you're going to simplify that 3x times the cubed root of 3x. Now, if that sailed right over your head, you let it fly, because we'll be doing more of those later in the year.
Okay, so we're not doing this now.
No, that was just kind of for fun. Like getting an ice cream on the way to the movies.
Oh, so fun.
That's what I'm saying. The rest of them work out nice and even, right? You know the square root of 121? 11. Do you know the square root of r to the 10th? Please don't drop my calculators. They're very expensive. Do you know the square root of r to the 10th? Very good. What I'm asking you is r to the what times r to the what equals r to the 10th, right? And so it must be to the 5th because you add those exponents. So when you simplify number 14, it's 11r to the 5th. Is this easy? Not really? Uh-oh. I was hoping it was. Next one, we need the fifth root of 243. Do you know how to use your calculator to get a fifth root?
Yes, I already did.
Good man.
It's 3x to 10.
Hit the 5 first. Then you choose choice 5. We want the fifth root of 243. She works out evenly. So that's a 3. Do you know the fifth root of x to the fifth? X. Very good. Do you know the fifth root of z to the 15th? Z to the third. Because z to the third times 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 z to the third would be z to the 15th. You would add the exponents. So this is where we are today. You need to know how to do these. Not so much that, baby. Sticking with me, okay? Does that make you happy?
What's the difference between that one and the number 15 that was 13?
Between 13 and 15?
Yeah, like why do we have another 15 and not?
Because the cubed root of 81 is not an integer. It was like a long decimal and didn't break down evenly. But these do. So that's where we're at. We're still at the ones that break down evenly. It's great, isn't it? No, I love it. Looking at number 16, you want the cubed root of x minus 9 to the third power. In other words, the cubed root of x minus 9 times x minus 9 times x minus 9. What do you think that is? X minus 9. That's all it's asking, right? You're multiplying together 3 times, that's going to be the cubed root. I won't worry about 17. And I bet you and your partner can do 18 and 19 without my help. Prove me right, please. Yes. Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Do we need to simplify the test?
You. No, you can't. That's it.
Okay. See, good job.
So would you just leave it as like 64 over 343?
No. I want the cubed root of each one. What's a cubed root of 64? Take the pass with you, please. I don't know. Right by the door.
4.
Okay. What's a cubed root of x to the 9th? Right. Yes. So that's your top. 4x to the 3rd.
And it gives
Yep.
Okay.
Oh. That's it. Just how you doing? Yeah? Awesome. Okay, as I walked around, I saw most of you had 4x to the 3rd over 7 and x over 3. If I missed anyone, call me over. I can help you with that. Okay, moving on to the equations. Question number 22. It says x to the fourth is 81. In other words, what times itself times itself times itself is 81. Is the answer 3?
Yes.
Why is 3 wrong?
But it was okay when we
I'm sorry? Very good. 2 answers. Okay, because it's an even root. There's 2 answers when we take the even root. And negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 would be positive 81. Do you have to have both answers to get credit? Of course. Yes. So how about 23? Is 23 also going to have 2 answers? Positive and negative 0.4. Good call by you. Okay, so when we solve equations, then it becomes very important to understand, yes, there are 2 answers, and yes, you have to say there are 2 answers. You make sure she understands that when she comes back for me? Thank you. So I'm thinking you and your partner can do the next 2 questions, 24 and 25, without my help. That's right. You've been working too hard? Okay. Tired?
I saw Ash last night, and I told her to sit down, and she was like, "Oh, I missed him."
Oh, that's sweet. You make me cry. That's beautiful. How's she doing?
Good. And she was telling stories of her basketball days.
Yeah? They're good stories. Those are good times.
She's her physical test to be a police officer.
Oh, really?
Be an FBI agent. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that is cool.
Yeah.
Where's she going to be?
They don't know, but she can't be one to talk about it.
No. Awesome. Okay, 4 through to 16 is 2. 4 through to 625 is 5. 2 answers because it's an equation with an even root, positive or negative 2 over 5. Same idea over here. You get 0.1 and you get negative 0.1. How'd you do? You good on all that?
Plus or minus 0.4.
I'm sorry?
Or 24 also be plus or minus 0.4.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that's good stuff. Everybody good? Okay, just like, at dinner you save, dessert, you save the best for last. I saved the best for last today. We're going to do the word problems. You and your partner can finish those up. Start with the easier ones, which would be 20. Back to 20 to start. And have fun, work with your partner, enjoy this stuff. She's going to do that for you.
We're on 20.